almost up to her knees, and I felt compelled to get out and help her inside, but I knew better. She'd refuse my help, tell me to stop being so nice. I was trying to figure out when to just sit still and be quiet. She was the most sensitive person I had ever met. When she opened the door and climbed in, I paused a moment before saying anything. "Oh my God, it's so fucking cold outside," she began. "I almost fell over coming down the walk." "You all right?" I muttered. She just nodded and coughed, covering her mouth with a gloved fist. When she was settled, she turned and examined my face. "Did you sleep last night? You look like shit. You've got dark circles around your eyes again." I handed over her cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. She gripped it tightly with both hands, transferring the escaping warmth, and finally cracked a brief smile. "I'll sleep later. I didn't get out until 5 this morning. Long night in the retail graveyard, young lady." "Well, at least you don't have to sit through some bullshit class all afternoon. I could really do without algebra right now." I laughed a little. Couldn't we all? I pulled away from the curb, coasting downward more than powering my way forward. At the end of the street, the parking maid passed me, giving me that filthy look that stank of a parking ticket. "Well, at least it's Friday and we'll be able to spend some time together this weekend," I commiserated. "Actually, sorry to break your heart, but my dad came home from the slope last night. He's going to be hauling me to my grandma's house over in Spinard." "What's he going to do now? Lock you in the attic? Force me to break you out, then harpoon me like a great white whale?" She just shot me another dark look. Living with her dad was bad enough. She didn't like me making jokes about it. Her scowl faded, and she didn't stay mad for long. Nothing you have is as big as a whale, Sebby. Except maybe this truck." I laughed again at her. She reached for my right hand and clutched it. "Holy shit, you feel like ice, Sebastian. Why are you always so cold?" "Not always," I responded suggestively. "You could come over and skip half a day." "I have to keep up my grades. There's only 2 more weeks of school left anyway. You have no idea what would happen if my dad found out that I skipped classes to be with you." I whipped the truck onto the main road, which had been recently salted, and sped up. "I've had a few conversations with your father, puppy, and none of them went well. Wrestling with a 45-year-old man was the definite low point. I think I do have some idea." I delivered this like a joke, but it was hard to see the humor in getting beaten on by someone. She hid behind her coffee cup in multiple layers of warm clothing, molding herself against the seat and side of the door. I drove through downtown Eagle River. Driving was easy as long as I stayed far enough back from the car in front of me. It was better not having to concentrate on everything around me. My left hand, fixed on the wheel and warmed by the heating vent, felt like it was drying out into a shriveled piece of jerky. Poppy held my right hand, which was now as hot as a brick in a fire pit, and damp. My mind registered the grasp of her fingers and the pressure of her touch more than anything else. I was tired and wanted something intimate. My chances were slipping away the closer I got to school. And I'd likely not see her until she needed me to pick her up. Puppy was a constant puzzle that I wasn't allowed to touch, but felt compelled to. I was white, and she was a Inupiat Eskimo. Her father hated me. I was dark blonde, Irish, and older than she by almost 2 years. If he saw me, he became pissed off and aggressive and would confront me every time. He had caught us together at Pizza Hut, run in, punched me in the back of the head, and then pulled Puppy out of the restaurant by her hair. Everyone just stared at me as I struggled to pull myself off the floor. I felt awful. After that, I thought it was over between us, but she called me the next day crying and apologized. She told me she loved me, and it was really all I needed to hear. Her father had already called the police on me once before, beaten me in public, and chased me away from his front door with an axe, so I wasn't holding out on winning him over anytime soon. He just wanted me to stay the hell away from his daughter, and I guess I couldn't comply.